It's nice to have you in Birmingham. Today we are at Dustin Massey Studios, where we're going to have a conversation on technique, creativity, the art of technology, incorporating that, and what it means to do something uncomfortable. Get ready for the first episode of Founders on the KMD Network. What's up everyone, Jarrod Stisher here. We are on the first episode of our Founders series where we tell the stories of founders in Birmingham and beyond. Today we are with Dustin Massey of Dustin Massey Studios and his illustrious partner, Banks. So Dustin, tell us about what you do. Tell us about Dustin Massey Studios. How does Banks fit into that too?
Jarrod, I am a photographer and artist, a creative. Luckily, we are producing this pilot episode in my loft.
Yeah. Very nice, very nice.
Here we are. We, as a collaboration, we're trying to produce and tell stories. So that's what Dustin Massey Studios is about. Telling your best brand narrative. My email tagline is stay creative.
Okay.
So how can we stay in the mind frame of, look, everyone's creative, everyone's welcome to participate, everyone's welcome to give their 2 cents, and then look how much fun we're having.
Yeah.
We've got this view right now. This is where I live.
Amazing.
And so hopefully, from a founder's perspective, it's me being able to show you what Birmingham looks like. I do art around the city, and I handcraft and print these in the studio.
Okay.
So I've got a printer over here, and here my art is on, your B-cam. And so as a creative, I just said, what's pretty?
Okay.
How can we show it off? I'm blessed with perfect color perspective.
Okay.
You know, not many males have really good color accuracy in their vision, so it's like a gift. So I accentuate that into my artwork. I really bump up the vibrancy, and then I like to teach people how photography works. You know, like you've got your arms, and that's your frame. Mm-hmm. And then if we're taking a photo, that's 50 millimeters, and there's 60 millimeters, and there's 200. So I see the world in that way. And if you're looking outside, if you could see it, I don't know if we've got it in frame, but Vulcan's all the way that way.
Okay.
So, how do I say, hey, look, I found a piece of art that I think you would like. You just got to put your eyes there.
Yeah.
Telling those stories that other people enjoy.
Right. Okay. So before Dustin Massey Studios came to fruition, what were you doing before that?
Well, before I was at Birmingham Southern College.
Okay.
I actually got to play football there. That's the reason why I went. So 4 years at BSC.
But what was your position?
I was outside linebacker.
Okay. Big man.
The thing about being outside linebacker, Luke Kuechly, Ray Lewis, they were big guys, but I played just like them. Okay. It's about how can you see the field, knowing where everyone's at. And so you put all those formulas together. I'm really good at football. I'm really at seeing things. I take a photography class, and that gets me into photojournalism, and that gets me into minoring in photography. And then I go get a job thinking, it'll hold me over until I get what I want. Okay. I was wanting to be in like marketing, so I thought photography as a minor would be a good set. And then I just got a job that I didn't like, working for a company that I didn't like.
Let me take matters into my own hands.
What?
Let me take matters into my own hands.
Well, so what happened to me is that I had a job I didn't like, then I had a job that I thought it could be a career. Okay. It went from being, I'm not going to do marketing to maybe I could do working at UAB. Mm-hmm. It's called development, raising money for the Department of Surgery. Okay. So if I could have done that, we would have been good, but it wasn't my job. Right. And they didn't need me, and so I got let go. Okay. So the reason why I became a photographer is because I actually got let go from a corporate, ready to pay job. Yeah. And really, the person that changed my life, this is important for like this talk. Okay. When I got let go, anytime you're doing something over, the first thing you do is relationships. For sure. Jarrod, we're friends, man. I'm having a do-over. What do you know about this? Mm-hmm. And that person, they were my coworker. They were in the exact same position. They said, you're young. You're 24 years old. If you spend 2 years trying your best to be a photographer, you're going to either be the best photographer in the world, or you're going to want to do something else that makes you happy anyway.
Sound advice.
Right. So that's what started me. I just got the advice to go, hey, look, I trust you, and here's how I'm going to help you. He was one of my first clients, come and pay me money. You know, and then the relationship I got let go at UAB. I made sure to maintain the bridge. I sent great emails. And so when everyone knew I was a photographer, they were my first clients.
Okay.
And so now I went from going, I don't know how I'm going to run a business, to going, I've got the largest employer in Alabama wanting to hire me. And that's just, relationship building. You keep going back to it.
I think it's great because you're building those genuine connections. And because you're doing that, you have people who are ready to invest in you when you make that change. And I think that's a really good, tidbit of information that's going to come out of this interview. Now, also, I'd love to hear more about some projects you've done. So I know you've done my charity soccer tournament, which was a blast. Thank you for coming. You were at the AG Gaston conference a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. And you blessed the stage, taking some amazing pictures of us as well. Me and Justin Evans, Raymond Henderson, Gilberto Herrera.
Right.
I'd love to hear about more projects you've done. I know you mentioned the World Games at one point.
Right. You really condensed that into a narrative, really. I was at the AG Casting Conference. Okay. And so the reason why that's cool, it's that's the first time I've done behind the scenes interview photography. So I got really cool hard light, stage presence, I got some artwork of another creative that we're going to print out later, and that's going to be a gift to him just because he's part of the group.
Nice.
So that first opportunity, I got to do something I've never done before. There, I'm hanging out, and Roy Wood Jr. walks by. And so the whole thing about Roy Wood Jr. is that you run Sloss Tech, and 2 years ago you brought him to Sloss Tech, and that was the same year Andrew Yang came through.
Yes, that was a great year.
I will show our Andrew Yang stuff. I'm a huge Andrew Yang person. I forward party. I align to that kind of look. We got to do things that are holistic and regenerative, and we don't live in duality. We live in a multiplicity.
Right.
And I see us going to the AG Gaston conference, strike a lightning. Roy Wood Jr. comes by. 2 years ago, I had my long lens. I wish we had it out for production. Having my long 60-200 lens. It is a crazy, intimidating lens. But Roy was on across the street, and I was trying to meet Andrew Yang. And so, but if you ever look somebody in the eyes and go, oh no, they know what I'm thinking. Yeah. And you get nervous, you don't say it. So I didn't say it, but I was wanting to say to him, I was wanting to say, Roy, I'm with Dominion Voting Machines. Stop right there. Let me take your picture. Yeah. He's got a joke about the voting machines. But I just didn't say it. And so for 2 years, I've been holding on to that memory. It's if I ever see him again, I want to try to bring that up. So we're there, and I'm waiting on Justin to get there so I can start work. And guess what? He walks by, but I go throw something away, and he's got a handler. It's not the right time. I'm well, there he goes. He just got done speaking. No big deal. Dude, I do my work. I'm just hanging out. I drop all expectations. As soon as I do that, here he comes without a handler, looks me in the eye, wants to talk because he knows I'm about to say something, stops right there, and allows me to have a conversation. So the reason why that long story is that I'm getting to do something I've never done before, and then I'm getting to meet Roy Wood Jr., who I get to
You're in that space, yeah.
Yeah, I get to make his friends with him, and then I tell him, I didn't know if I was going to drop it on him. I'm trying to bring back this thing called Creative Mornings. Okay. Creative Mornings is an international breakfast meetup group. You go locally, and each month you can have 100 to 300 groups. So Birmingham is ripe. Our issue with Birmingham is that we don't have connected scenes.
A lot of fragmentation and siloed off.
Yeah. Yeah. So some stats, when you go to San Diego, you're going to go there and it's going to be a 20-street city. Birmingham is a 2-block city. That's real. Those are real stats. Maybe I'm being a little hyperbolic, but the point being is that when you come to Alabama Theater, you don't go 4 blocks over to this restaurant or to that park. So what we need is you need art, and you need connection, and you need community. So that's the project I'm working on, Creative Mornings. Roy Wood Jr. is excited for it.
Okay.
And then, you know, going back, that's the World Games. You know, that's my premier thing that I did. It's like, we've got the skating thing coming up.
Yes, I saw that.
I don't have that job yet. Hopefully by the time this is over,
look,
this
we're in
business
there. We're in there.
partnership. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's what this founders thing to me is that how do we make sure that those things that come to the city get the service that they need, and the people who aren't the creatives here, you know, we elevate. Birmingham is at a space, this is really important, Birmingham's at a space to elevate the creative market. Mm-hmm. You know, charging what we're supposed to charge, doing good client work for good clients.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of cities that do good client work for bad clients. I think Birmingham, we're not really corporation heavy.
I think we're in that southern where it's like, who's your grandma type thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's very interconnected. I could definitely say that, at least in the tech space, you know, everyone knows each other, right?
Right.
And I think a lot of business owners here have come to that realization that if you come here and you win, then we all win, right?
Yeah.
More PR, more press.
Yeah. It's not a dog-eat city.
Yeah, good relations. And people are more than willing to talk to you no matter what. I think that's awesome. Okay, now let's talk about, I know you're talking about, you said you had perfect color vision. What's your creative style like? Like when you're creating this art, when you're using different lenses, how do you make those decisions based off of, you know, your color vision?
It all started from, actually, if that camera's got it, see that right there? That was an accident.
Oh, right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't even mean to make that happen. I was just trying to be a regular photographer. That was like my second year in, so I was, you know, 26, 2 years in, maybe a year in. I was standing on the back of my truck just trying to make that a photo of the sunset.
Yeah.
Well, the accident is that the camera panned down, and you know, my photography professor at BSC said never delete in the field.
Yeah.
And so, you know how cameras work. The raw data is bland.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's why Lightroom and Capture One, all these editors exist, because it's how can we take the pixels but still have all this dynamic range and turn it into something.
Okay.
So I'm sitting here and I've got a calibrated monitor and I've got a picture that's got weird lines on it, and I go, that's a cool photo, but if I just edit normal, it's not cool enough.
Yeah.
Oh, let me actually play with every single slider that I have and see what happens.
Okay.
Oh my God, changing that. Not only is those colors true, the left side is the fluorescent hues of the downtown side, and the yellow is the halogen of the north side.
Okay.
They're on different light bulbs. You know, in the middle is that brown. That's a rainbow of color. All I had to do was go, how does this look in real life? And how is it going to be presented? Okay. Because, if it's going to be digital, I can throw in the color. Right. Your phones can take a lot of that color. Oh my God, you start printing that thing out on metallic paper and you can even more put the color in. Okay. So I think what happened is that I was just experimenting. Oh, look at that accident. Oh, I can add color. Oh, I can add motion into that, and that allows me to enrich it even more. Oh, when I can find a medium of hypersaturation and hyperrealism. I feel like I've really tried to balance. If you were here, did you see it like I saw it? Was it like that right there? That guy was yellow, right? But when you photograph him, he was barely yellow. So that's what I try to do is that, you know, I don't know if the cameras are showing, but it's a beautiful day in Birmingham right now. You know, I don't know how much dynamic range is in, right? So that's what I'm saying is that to be creative, you have dynamic range as a creator. You have dynamic range, right? Like analogy, put yourself as a camera. If you're a business owner and you run a business that is, who's your next up? You know, who's your next guest? You know, what do they do? Put themselves inside of that camera lens. Hey, look, you can be the camera, and you've got a sensor, and that has range, and then you have tools to make that sensor work, and then you got the operator, right?
Right. Now, you did mention a lot of software in that conversation.
Yeah.
Where are you at in terms of different technologies and even possibly integrating, AI solutions into that? I know we've talked a lot about Sloss Tech, different events, showcasing that. What does that look like?
I can take you on a route. I'll middle out.
Okay.
As a photographer, I've become as a photographer who grew up on MySpace, I understand HTML. I took a Python class in college. I get the structure.
Okay.
Also, I get organization. I get tools. So when you tell me 2020 that GPT is here, okay, how does it make a better proposal? 2025, Claude Code is here.
Yes.
Okay. How do I use that to take away my problems and consolidate? So there's several things. One, middle out, I'm building solutions right now that no one don't even know about. Y'all don't even know about.
Yeah.
It is my ability to run my whole photography platform off of things that I know I can rebuild. I'm rebuilding a proposal maker. I'm building a mastermind group. I'm building things that analyze my photos so that I know how my tags work. Those are crazy things. But from a business perspective, there is a way, because of where we're at with tech, to go, I'm just trying to emulate the guys who are doing it well. That's a 2-year plan to get off money. But to be in development with the new apps, I'm always a power user.
Okay.
How do you get something and make it work for you? So I've got probably 5-6 businesses that I put my life in.
Okay.
And what's crazy is that they allow me to go, I'm at the speed of compute right now. That's what it's called. So the speed of compute is, how do we photograph you, tether to the computer compute what the edit is, your keywords, your name, your edit that we put on it, your retouch, that would normally take me 3 hours 5 years ago, now is at the speed of compute.
Yeah.
It's coming in at the layer, so now I can compact that and my digital tech can go and send it to them.
Yeah.
So we can auto watch a folder and auto deliver an image with retouching. Now it goes on a TV, and now that becomes advertisement.
Right.
So I've basically put 4 pipelines into one single job. And so for you, Sloss Tech, we want a heat map. So I'm gonna take my lights, and we're gonna have a nice setup, and then we're gonna have one light with individual colors. It's gels that you put on it.
Okay.
And we're gonna let them pick what color they want. And then boom, you got your own heat map.
Okay.
Right?
Right. Okay. I love that. And I want to keep building upon that. Now that we are a startup tech city, I want that kind of software, that kind of creativity showcase for a younger generation. Now, in terms of a younger generation, let's talk about workforce and even pushing young creators into the space that might not have the relationships that you and I have, or the people that want to invest in us. What does that look like? For a new creator, what would your point of advice be to, break into the space? How would you showcase? What would be the best way for them to showcase their work?
So I was looking over this question earlier today, and what I hear your framing is that what I feel like I need to say is that a lot of creatives, a lot of businesses are becoming themselves because the power of the community and the internet.
Yes.
I was classically trained, so I went to film school and I learned how to roll a film, and I got constructive criticisms, and I had to take my artwork and put it on a big old thing in its ugly form and its pretty form. That's called critiques. So what's important in 2 layers here for us as creatives, creative business, everyone's creative, right?
Right.
So even if you run an accounting business, you got to have a creative hustle to that business. And I see creativity going, hold on, I lost that real quick. Bring me back in.
Okay. How are we explaining to the younger generation as creators how to hop in, get into the space, and use that creativity to help, hustle and fund their dreams?
Yeah, there we go. So everyone's creative. if you put a creative hustle into your business, no matter what it is, you'll be successful. Creativity is combining things, making things work, having logical but also expansive thoughts. When I was at Birmingham Southern, I was classically trained, which means I had to take my ugly work and show it, and I had to take my pretty work and show it. I think since everyone can do that now, they can kind of learn from each other.
Yeah.
Especially spatially, you know, I learned a lot from people who were in Seattle running a workshop for 4 hours. That was a business called Creative Live, don't exist anymore. But they were 4 hours of me just going, how does that business work? I was downloading. Then I had an apprentice, a mentor. So that apprentice should go, hey, this is how you set up a light. This is safety when you're doing a light stand. These are all the things that's going to help you decrease your liabilities and grow your assets. So you start doing that learning and you start doing that physical, you're going to become a master. It takes you 20 minutes to be better than 80% of the world at anything.
Okay.
You know, read anything and you're smarter than that 80% of the group. So if you keep doing that day after day, you're going to get better. So like I would offer creatives the advice of try to find a mentor group that is both creative and don't even think themselves creative. Find someone who can ping pong and you can be middle. And then I think another thing is that you've got to find a way to get critiqued. I feel like that's the most important thing, is that you've got to be able to get your art outside of your family and your friend group, and you got to get to hands of peers and go, hey, here's my ugly work and here's my pretty work. How do I make it prettier?
Okay.
I was telling you the other day, like, you know, we're helping this set up is that like, you've got a million options on this frame to frame you, right? You know, are we doing this, right? Where's the camera? So the critique that me and Kelby are working on is, well, how do you fit in the perfect little frame, in the composition that we understand, but you get subliminally, and how can everything else run smoothly and the light's not be in the background? That's us critiquing because we're already professionals, right? We're critiquing in a workflow. I'm saying you need to go take your work, get it on paper. If you can't get it on paper, get it in digital. If you can't get it in digital, how you go, what's your portfolio, right? Yeah. Even if it's words, even if it's acting, get that portfolio live, get it critiqued, and do something uncomfortable. Go ask somebody who's bigger than you and go, oh my God, I'm gonna be nervous asking this person. You know, Roy Wood Jr., he gave me 2 minutes of his life. And now I'm moving forward because I was open to his critique about why Birmingham isn't successful.
I want to take that quote you just said. I want that to be like spread out everywhere. Do something uncomfortable. Not everyone can hear that and do that. And you being as successful as you are, saying that could be the driver for that next creative in this city to become as big as you. Now, I do have a question.
Well, let me ask you, how do you get uncomfortable though?
I feel, you know, I do a lot of speaking engagements. Yeah. And I feel like people are like, oh, wow, you're great at this. No, me walking up to that stage, I am just as nervous. Before the AG Gasson conference, when we were under the stage, I couldn't tell you how many times I was going over my questions, my answers, and that anxiety rising up. But regardless, the job has to get done. So, you know, once I'm walking into that stage, I answer the first couple of questions. We're in flow state now. I see it, I see the vision. But then that passion when it comes to talking about the ecosystem, the fragmentation, fixing that silo problem that Birmingham has, that I think both of us are trying to fix through not just this series, but networking events, putting creative together with creative mornings. Stuff like that drives me, right? The connectivity of it all. So that's my do something uncomfortable, but
you let your purpose run the decisions instead of letting the valid fears, right? Like your job is also, you get paid to go and be the speaker. Yeah. So is it uncomfortable because, like, do you have speaking gigs that you haven't emailed yet that you're like afraid to email?
No, I honestly just got a request to be a judge on a pitch competition in April, and that leads to that imposter syndrome, right? Like, do I feel like I'm qualified enough to do this? But then I remember who I am. Yeah. And I realized that it's going to go down.
Right.
So, we're at the end, but I want to ask you, where can we find Dustin Massey Studios on socials, on websites? That way we can showcase your work.
I am DustinMassey.com.
Okay.
Dustin Massey Studios, my business. That's a overarching business. We'll be launching things that umbrella out. Hopefully there'll be more creativity on the streets. Right now, Dustin Massey Studios will get you on the Googles. You can start really seeing my art, my flow. That'll get you to my portfolio pages. If you want to go to my social handles, everything is Dustin Focus.
Okay.
Dustin Focus. I felt like that was a nice little tag, and I'm trying to start a YouTube channel.
Okay.
I like lifestyle. I like cooking healthy. I like holistic goods. I like farmers markets. I like art. I like traveling, and there's a lot of sports going on this year. If we can make something like that. Dustin Checks In is the name of that.
Okay.
Did you ever get to see the little monkey movie back when we were young?
I have not seen it, but
I will. Be a little young.
I will check it out in a second.
It's one of my
after
favorites.
this. Okay, great. Well, this was great. Thanks for having us in your space. Beautiful view as always.
Yeah.
Make sure you follow up with us on the KMD Network. Jarrod, Stisher, our Founders Series. Oh, and everybody say bye to Banks.
Hey, I forgot.
Banks has his own socials as well.
Banks does have his own socials.
Yeah.
He said, come here. He is at Banks, BHM Banks, BHM Banks.
BHM Banks. All right, first episode done. Can't wait to see you all at the next one. If you have any ideas on who we should talk to, feel free to reach out. I'd love to tell your story and why people should hear about you.